Welcome to the Art of Conversation. It's your girl Alisha C. And we out here recording live. Yo! Happy Monday, everyone. Good morning. Yes, and happy President's Day. You got an extra day off. Woot. Make sure you spend it wisely. Be mindful this Monday. The title of today's episode is Spiritual versus Physical. As we all know, we are fighting a war that is spiritual, not physical. However, everything starts spiritual before it can manifest into the physical world. According to Oxford, spiritual relates to or affect the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. Physical relates to the body as opposed to the mind. Let's break it down some more, right? So spiritual refers to the non-physical aspects of a being, often associated with the soul, consciousness, and inner thoughts, while physical refers to the tangible, material body and its interactions with the external world, including senses and actions. Essentially, the spiritual realm is considered to be beyond the physical realm, focusing on inner experiences and connections to a higher power, while the physical realm is the world we can see and interact with through our bodies, yeah? The spiritual reality is the greater one, of course. It will outlast the physical because one day heaven and earth will pass away. All you have is those memories. Which is why sometimes you guys ever cross paths with someone and it's like an undeniable recognition. It's because maybe in a past life you guys either knew each other, had some kind of relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, or maybe you guys were siblings, relatives in another life, and then you guys, reincarnate, and here we go, and then the soul, the spirit remembers that other soul and spirit, although it's in another body vessel. Yeah. If you know, you know. So when we say we are fighting a battle that is spiritual, not physical, what do you mean? What? Like, I get what that means. But why are we fighting a battle that's spiritual, not physical? Well, a war that is spiritual, not physical, refers to a battle fought against unseen forces like evil spirits or negative thoughts, rather than a physical conflict with tangible enemies, often involving inner struggles against temptation or negative influences, and utilizing spiritual tools like prayer and faith to overcome them, right? So this concept is particularly prevalent in many religions. I'm not a religious person, very spiritual. Yes, I believe in God. Whatever source you decide to pray to, and in all actuality is one source. We all have different nicknames for that source. Nevertheless, where the war is seen as a fight against sin or demonic forces, not against other humans with weapons, right? So just imagine, right? You're fighting. Some people have the gift to see these spirits. Just imagine you sitting there chilling and you just see somebody just start throwing their hands. And I know, a friend of mine has sent me a video. I don't know if you guys seen it. It was like a TikTok. And it's like a voiceover where it's like, get out. Get the hell out of my house. And it's basically, referring to it was a dog staring off into the corner of the house, and people started saying, dogs, babies, they can see spirits and all of that, or the dog is not moving, just staring, not even barking, or sometimes they stare back up, bark, is because they see something, right? And you're looking and you just see a wall or the couch and the wall or whatever it is in that corner. And they play this voiceover. Get out! Get the hell out of my house, right? So just imagine fighting, being able to see them, and you're throwing hands and fighting, but another person who doesn't have that gift just sees you throwing your hands and fussing and tussling, and it's like, what on earth are you doing? But then it's like, if you know, right? It's just like babies and kids. See, they love making themselves noticeable. They'll appear visible to those who they know can see, and those who they know are vulnerable. Pets, kids, you know what I'm saying? And so some of them will deliberately show up in the rooms of children and bathrooms and closets under the bed. That's why they always say, you know, if a kid is saying, hey, there's a monster in there, and they're so like visibly afraid, take it seriously, start praying, start doing what you need to do, because they see something that maybe you can't see. Remember, these are innocent souls. They're still fresh and new here, right? The world hasn't gotten to them yet. So they're able to see these things crystal clear. And of course, they're not at the age or have the comprehension necessarily to say what it is they see. But they know it's something that's not right and it's scary looking. And why is it still there? And it came back and is bothering me, right? Pay attention, listen, don't brush them off, okay? Now, how does this manifest in everyday life and reality presently? Well, every day, every single day. First of all, I want to ask you guys the question, do you really think that it's just humans that exist on this world? You think it's just us? It's not. Some of these humans that we come across, that we, you know, cross paths with, shake hands with, even talk to, are not actually humans. You know, some people call them reptilians. And yes, we're mixed with all kind of things here. There's a whole bunch of things we walk past, and it looks human, and they're not. You got demons in human form. You got all these things that is able and has the power to transform. If you know, you know. You know, no one's here to point fingers and no conspiracy theories. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. If you're interested in maybe 50-50, educate yourself. Where do you think you go when this is over? Right? You transcend into another form, and then you just keep transcending and transcending. Yes. Spirit lives forever. That's why you should make sure it's clean. When it's not clean, you make yourself more susceptible of picking up and attracting uncleanliness. But we're going to get there. Slow down. How does it manifest in everyday life and reality? Oh man, again, what do we see? We see it every day. What do we hear? We experience. The veil. If you know, you know, the veil has been lifted. The split has happened already. It's happened. We're here. It's split. So what side are you on? It's good versus evil, right? We know. We're not oblivious. We've been new. The world is all about balance, right? Duality. You got the good and bad. You can't have one without the other, and that's just that. However, nowadays, the evil is running rampant. It really is. Some of the things that we are seeing and hearing about is pure evil and wickedness. You know, some people wonder, hey, how could a human being do such a thing to another human being? Let me pick your brain. What if it's not a human? What if it's not that person? It happens all the time, daily. The world is huge, right? So according to the UN, 52 people are killed per hour globally. Well, I'll be damned. Imagine how many hours in a day, better yet a week. That's a lot of damn people. That's a lot of people. It's a lot. So we're talking physical and spiritual, right? Some people are being used by evil and demonic entities and don't even know it. Let me say that again. Some people are being used by evil and demonic entities and don't even know it. Yes, we know we have horrible people out there. Definitely not going to make excuses for that. Not going to neglect that part. There are evil people out there that's wicked. Sometimes, just sometimes you look at the person's backstory, right? Because we got to remember how we all got here. We all started off as babies, and grow into kids, toddlers, and then, right? Development. We hear, we seen, and some of us have personally experienced, right? No one's life is perfect. Everyone has been hurt. These are things that we as people can all relate to. Although we're all different colors, races, religion, height, weight, this, that. Yeah, we're all different. Yes. But there are many things that keep us connected we can all relate to. Pain being one of them. It's universal. Love is another. Universal, right? At some point in your life, you've been hurt. At some point in your life, you've met a narcissist. At some point, you know what I'm saying? At some point in your life, you know what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from. The question is, what do you do with that pain? Some people are in a big age and they still point and talk about what happened to them in their childhood because whatever happened traumatized them so badly, they never had the strength or the courage to really process that hurt, pain, trauma, whatever it was, and to transmute that energy, transmute that pain, right? They didn't have the strength, the courage to accept what happened to them and accept that, hey, you didn't deserve it. Yes, it was wrong. And you listen, you can sit here and have lists of reasons why you didn't deserve it. Obviously, you didn't deserve it. You might have been a kid. Well, whatever age you were at, or even when we hear and we see these news headlines, we read about it, whatever it is. Some people can relate to some of the things that you see and hear. And you just, you wonder what happened there. So, yes, you can relate, but then at the same time, it's like, at what point do you stop blaming your past or your childhood and you actually take the initiative to work through it, to not get consumed and allow that to be the catalyst of who you grow up to be, the adult you become, the adult that society has to deal with. Okay, I get it. You look back, sometimes we hear about stories where people suffer from these mental health disorders. There's that word again, mental health. Well, not word, phrase, right? Schizophrenia, ADHD, depression, this, that, depressive, manic, bipolar, blah, 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 right? Okay, if that is the case, where's the history of treatment? What did you do preventative-wise? Were there any interventions? You can't just say, okay, this person did this horrible act, and it's because they're a schizophrenic or they're this and that, and there's no back history of you trying to nip this in the butt, give this person help, before we got to this stage, right? So that's even another episode, right? But I'm just throwing that there because you can look at this from so many different angles, right? Sometimes people are screwed up in the head. And, you always hear about hurt people, and I get tired of hearing that. because not all hurt people. It just depends on the person. And I think it falls back on accountability. Again, at what point do you disconnect and take accountability? Okay, I didn't have control then. This is unfortunate. I didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve it. This happened at a young age. You were vulnerable. You couldn't fight back. Whatever the case may be, right? There is no one size fits all. But at what age, right? So let's just say something traumatizing happened to you at the age of what? 4, 5, 6. Unless it was something that continued year after year. Let's just say this happening occurred then. Now you're 55, 59, 60 years old, and some people are behaving and acting as though, you know how we say kids in adult bodies? These are people who, whatever age that they got severely traumatized and never worked through it, just ignored it, and maybe they got traumatized again and ignored it and brushed it off, suppressed it, didn't want to face it, deal with it, and it turned into this rebellion and anger. So it's like, I want to hurt others who hurt me. Like I was hurt. I want to hurt others who I feel should feel the pain that I felt. Is that fair? No. You got a lot of people walking around with this mentality. No. Everybody has their own pain to deal with and hurt. Why is another person suffering because you didn't take the time to sit down and actually come to terms with what happened? It's not anybody's fault. So now you became the person who traumatized and hurt you. So now you go hurt and traumatize another person. Did that person deserve it? No, but I didn't deserve it. Right, but two wrongs don't make a right. And that's how we have these cycles, you know. Listen, we could take this in every direction. The point I'm making is, you do have some evil people out there that do want to hurt other people because they are hurting so bad on the inside and they just cannot face it, cannot handle it, cannot. Some people refuse to because it gives them an excuse to act out and do bad things. I'm going to shoot that person because I'm not feeling good inside. I never met my father. My mother was a crack whore, or this and that. And I'm going to shoot that person because I'm hurting inside and I'm going to project it on that random innocent person. How dare you walk around with a smile on your face? And I had to suffer. Some people think like this, and it's frightening and scary. So I just want you to take that and hold that for a second. Then you have some people who, you know, something is a little special and different about them. There are certain disorders out there, yes. However, the numerous mental health disorders that they continue to add to the DSM, some of them, it's like, come on, yo. Everybody got different ways of thinking, learning styles. Y'all so quick to label something a mental health disorder. And then here you go, want to shove meds down everyone's throat, right? Oh, you got this diagnosis? Okay, you need this. How do you know it's that? That's another. Don't put that there. But I say that because sometimes people blame mental health disorders for their evil acts. Oh, yeah, I shot him, but I don't know no better. I got bipolar. Shut your ass up. Where's the history? So you just got bipolar and just walking around and just, no. You got those sets of people. See, you actually do have some evil, wicked people who are fully aware of what they are doing. But I'm talking about those individuals that are not aware of what they are doing. Those are the ones that are being used by the evil and demonic spirits, right? But it still falls in and ties into those being hurt, right? So check it. This is what I mean. You have some people that have been through so much and just don't have the strength and the fight anymore, no more, that their spirit cannot bear it. And they almost become cold or soulless. That's how some people fall into depression. Maybe they use certain vices to escape and deal with the pain, you know? Because in all rationale, people don't necessarily want to die or kill themselves. They just want the pain to go away. So they're going to use and do what they can to escape that pain. They can't handle it, can't deal with it. They just get sunk. They go into a sunken place. And when you're in a sunken place, you are so susceptible to things, negative things. And it will feed off of that. This is what I mean, right? Now, this is why we emphasize the importance of mental health wellness and self-care, right? Mental health approaches. Specifically, the ones that help us challenge and change sinful thoughts and behaviors can be useful no matter what the person is dealing with, right? These techniques are not exclusive to just mental health problems. Some things do require prayer to remove, to cast out demonic entities, spirits, right? In order for you to even reach that stage, you must first make the conscious decision. You have to have some kind of awareness to admit to yourself that something is wrong, something is off. This is not how I normally would speak or think or feel. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? Why is every person I walk past, I want to punch in their face? I don't normally get this test, right? Right. Mental health and spiritual issues, they kind of cross each other's lines oftentimes. So I want to take it back again. Come on, we're time traveling, people. And I'm going to repeat once again. Some people are being used by evil and demonic entities, right? Once they are used, they are left. And that spirit travels to yet another person. But a person who is weak, susceptible, that means you're open. You left yourself open. You're weak. Another person, aka another vessel. Now this person is being used. Boom. Now you left. Now the person that was being used and the spirit left them, what happens? You're left to reap the consequences of what they've just influenced you to do. They used your body. Completely unaware. That is definitely a thing. It's a thing, y'all. It's a thing. You got the people who do right, who choose to do right anyway, and then you got the people who choose to do wrong. And then when you look at that wrong, those examples that I provided and many, many more are their bullshit reasons. Never said they really had a good reason, but these are some of the reasons we be hearing. And then in the middle, you have those who, my God, fully unaware. Now, let's take a look at the recent tragedy that occurred in Korea. Now, although this didn't occur in the United States, this is a recent tragedy, and I think it's a great example of spiritual versus physical, right? So on February 10th, 2025, a young girl, 8 years old, was allegedly attacked and murdered inside a school in Korea by her teacher. So the 48-year-old teacher had been suffering from depression since 2018. She requested, I believe, a 6-month leave due to depression. There's that word again, depression. Back in December of 2024. Unfortunately, a doctor found her fit to continue working, and she returned to work 20 days later. How often do we see this, right? Now, apparently during her time off, the teacher had lingering suicidal thoughts. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, again, when I heard this, when I hear about individuals who suffer from depression, the first thing I think, when I heard this, I was like, depression? I'm like, depression usually makes you turn inward. You're self-inflicted and self-harming. I'm not going to say it's not a thing, because it shows up differently and manifests differently in different people. But in hindsight, depression is self-inflicted, right? You're turning inward. You're sunken, you're dark, you're isolated, self-isolated. You harm your self-harm. You're harming yourself. So that right there, I was like, right? So now the teacher, once she's found, okay, this is what she told the police, and I quote, "I got annoyed just 3 days after returning to work. I didn't care who it was. I just let students leave the after-school program and we would die together." Sick. Shit. Sick. Why this rang a bell for me is the fact that she said that I didn't care who it was. And people like this are scary. How many people out there are ticking time bombs that we cross the street? That's why you got to be careful and pick your battles. And again, everything ties back to mental health and self-care. Caring for yourself enough to know when that's not worth my time and energy. My mental health, I need my peace. I know I didn't do something and you're sitting here trying to provoke me. You use your discernment though, because there's a very thin line between, choosing peace, being the bigger person and knowing something ain't right, and another one when you're being blatantly disrespectful, right? Or knowing when someone's trying to get you out that character, trick you out of your peace, trick you out. Use your discernment. That's the part that was startling to me, because it was like almost some eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Or I don't know if you guys played dig, dog shit, right? Anybody. It could have been anyone. You didn't have no specifics. It was just like, oh, you're going to be the one that I'm going to take out of here. So what? Excuse me? Just like that. There are people walking this earth with that kind of mentality. Now you're going to question yourself. If you're suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts, that's inward. That's self. So why on earth are you pulling these innocent children? Why are you taking them with you? And of course, we always hear stories where things like this happen and then the killer, the murderer, lives. Same thing with drunk drivers. Innocent people get killed and then your ass is still alive, right? I didn't care who it was. This is a teacher that the child trusted, right? It's sick. So she strangled and stabbed this poor child. Rest in peace to this innocent soul. And then attempted to kill herself. You should have killed yourself first. Why'd you even why'd you come back to work? Self-inflicted wounds, yes, you're still alive. She had a history of exhibiting violent behavior. She put another teacher in a headlock. Why was she still even working there? So we can have so many questions, so little answers. But I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Get Out, right? And I just want to reference the part where he was in a sunken place. The fact that someone else was having control over his body, and he sees everything, and screaming out for help. Nobody could hear. You have no control at all. Someone else is utilizing your vessel, but you're seeing it, but you can't do a damn thing about it, right? Demonic possession is a thing. Why it's so important to make sure your able body is healthy, your mind is healthy, your spirit is healthy, your emotional state is healthy, Think the 8 dimensions of wellness. Woo! It's real out there, folks. The importance of taking care of yourselves and trusting your intuition. You know you. Who knows you better than you? If you're not someone who has homicidal or suicidal thoughts and out of nowhere you're having them, sit down, reevaluate that. Do not brush it off. Educate yourself. If you feel like you need some professional help or take it up a notch, do what you need to do to make sure you are sane and healthy. Don't be embarrassed. The fact of the matter is we all got issues, just different types of issues and forms. And the thing is, the key is how you respond. Each of us individually are constantly having a war within ourselves, battling the good and bad. You think that everybody, listen, every day you wake up, you make choices. It's free will. You have the choice to do good, and you have the choice to do bad. Right? You get off a train, for example, and there's an old lady walking down the train with a shopping cart. It's too heavy. She loses her balance. She goes tumbling down the stairs. It's your choice. Nobody's holding you. You're not obligated. It's your choice to, ma'am, are you all right? Help her up, whatever. And it's also your choice to look, laugh, walk over, step over, This is the age of technology. Pull out your phone, record, ha, and keep it moving. It is your choice. It is your choice. When you sense something is off, it's because it's off. Check yourself. Don't be so quick to point the finger. Check yourself. Take care of yourself. Sometimes it's your life and others that depend on it. Real talk. Don't question it. Enjoy your Monday, you guys. Be safe, stay prayed, and peace out.